Viridia's streets surge with life, merchants' calls echoing amidst the daily hustle. Amidst the throng, John, a struggling calligrapher, walks, his gaze fixed on the ground, his mind far away. His competitor Silas, the famous calligrapher, is surrounded by admirers, basking in the warmth of their attention. The market was loud, but Silas's presence was stronger. People watched him, even when they couldn't hear what he was saying. John passes by, oblivious, his solitude a stark contrast to Silas's vibrant scene. In the heart of a studio, John sits in his cluttered space, a portrait of intense concentration and artistic struggle. The ink stains on his fingers bear witness to the relentless pursuit of perfection. Each stroke is a battle against frustration, a silent testament to the agony of creation. The weight of expectation bears down on him as he grapples with the elusive art of calligraphy. Amidst the chaos of his studio, John fights to bring order to the strokes, to capture the essence of his vision. In John's studio, Patience enters, a friend of John's mother, her gentle eyes observing the scene. Sunlight streams through the window, highlighting the studio's chaos. John sits slumped on a stool, his shoulders rounded with dejection, a picture of despair. Patience offers words of encouragement. "Keep your spirits up. Give it time, John. The greatest virtues in a masterpiece cannot be rushed." John retorts with anguish. "Patience won't pay the rent. People want perfection, not potential. Then give them your heart." Patience replied, "That is what makes your work truly beautiful. You have a kindness to your soul that Silas could never capture." In a breath, the old Wishmaker materializes, seemingly from nowhere, his presence commanding attention. He extends a porcelain ink pot towards John, the object gleaming softly in the light. "Young man, your despair calls out to me. The ink you seek is not made of soot and water, but of forgotten dreams." John skeptically asked, "Who are you? I have no money for your ink." "This is not for sale. Every drop contains a wish. Use it wisely, for what you write with this ink will come true. But remember, every wish has a cost. The universe demands balance." The Wishmaker disappears as mysteriously as he arrived. John stares at the ink pot, a mix of fear and desperate hope in his eyes. He thought of his deepest wish, to be a master calligrapher. That night, John attended Silas's exhibition. The work was impressive, but Silas's arrogance, on full display, was a spectacle of its own. Under candlelight, John watched patrons showered Silas with adoration, a love born of wealth and fame that John desperately coveted for his own work. Back in his dark studio, a flicker of ambition ignites within John, threatening to consume him. In the dim solitude of his studio, John sits hunched over his desk, a solitary candle casting long, dancing shadows. The quill dips into the ink pot, drawing up the dark liquid that will give shape to his ambition. With a look of unwavering resolve, John prepares to inscribe his first wish upon the parchment. With a voice so low it was almost silent, John whispered his desire into the ink. It was a simple wish, yet it held the full weight of his ambition and despair. He wrote, "My lines will be flawless, and my work will be known throughout the land, and I will be famous and rich." He would gladly trade his peace of mind and his soul for that praise. Morning light bathes John's face as he awakens, a gentle start to a day filled with newfound promise. He rises, a sense of purpose guiding his steps toward his workspace. At his studio, John's hand moves with newfound grace and skill, ready to create. The transformation is breathtaking, as if a switch has flipped, unlocking a potential never before seen. The studio is now alive with John's energy, a symphony of creativity unleashed. The air crackles with possibility, each stroke revealing a hidden world within. Sunlight floods the studio, illuminating vibrant tapestries as Patience stands before her loom. A picture of practiced grace, a thread snaps, and Patience's brow furrows in momentary frustration. She resumes weaving, but another thread tangles, deepening her frustration. Patience's hands falter, losing their earlier precision. At a nearby desk, John glances up, a flicker of concern in his eyes, then returns to his scroll. In the dimly lit studio, shadows dance around Patience as she hunches over her flawed tapestry, her face a mask of despair. She holds up her hands, turning them over, as if searching for a lost skill. John, my hands, they will not obey. The threads tangle themselves. It is as if the talent has left my fingers. John approaches hesitantly, his gaze shifting from her flawed work to his own flawless scroll. Guilt hangs heavy in the air, John said. I do not know. Perhaps the light is bad. As John's lie hung in the air, he was beginning to realize the terrifying price of his success. The ink had balanced the scales by taking the mastery from Patience's hands and giving it to his own. Very soon, John was ready to display his work. Since he could not afford to buy food and drinks, nor he had a large space for exhibition, he took his work to market and displayed it for everyone. Passers-by halt in their tracks, their faces lighting up with awe as they absorb the beauty of his creations. A rising tide of astonished praise filled the market. The crowd marveled at John's flawless calligraphy and vibrant illuminations, a talent he'd never possessed before. Commissions poured in, each request cementing John's growing reputation. His success was no longer a dream, but a rapidly growing reality. Within a few months, John's studio radiated opulence, filled with the lively chatter of patrons admiring the exquisite artwork. He moved to a larger studio, dressed in his finest. John stood at the heart of the celebration. He no longer yearned for success. He was radiant in its warm and dazzling glow. To the outside world, John was radiant, the picture of success. But beneath his confident smile, a ghost of unease lingered. He felt the weight of the wish. The lavish studio buzzes with energy, yet a silent whisper, reminding him that this was not a victory he had earned. Despite the accolades and admiration, a profound solitude envelops John. In the heart of his triumph, he is confronted with an invisible adversary. One fine morning, Isolde enters John's studio, her gaze immediately drawn to the vibrant artwork that fills the space. She moves deeper into the studio, her eyes tracing the bold strokes and vivid colors of John's creations. Her expression softens, a gentle smile gracing her lips as she absorbs the passion and artistry evident in every piece. She observes John at work, her smile deepening as she witnesses his dedication and talent firsthand. In the heart of the studio, Isolde's admiration is clear as she silently appreciates the world John has created. Sunlight pours into the studio, not just illuminating John's work. The rays caress each curve and flourish, as if admiring the quiet beauty of his lines. As Isolde's golden gaze traces the delicate artistry of his hand, John is captivated. In that quiet moment, the universe itself seems to agree. She is the true magic. For the first time since using the Wishmaker's ink, John felt his heart find peace for a few moments. Gazing at Isolde's beauty, all the turmoil faded away. Isolde's voice breaks the silence. I've heard of your work, John. They say your hand is guided by the heavens themselves. John shrugs. Practice, I suppose. And a bit of luck. Isolde's eyes narrow. Luck? Or perhaps the kind of magic that carries a heavy price? The bright sunlight vanished, plunging the studio into shadow. John felt as if he were back in his old, ragged clothes, talking to Isolde in the rundown studio he once called home. Taken aback, John's worried face betrays his secret. Realizing Isolde already knows, he confesses the truth, unburdening a secret he could no longer carry alone. Isolde listened intently, her expression mirroring the weight of his confession. She revealed her own connection to the ink, then warned him of the consequences to come. Isolde's response is of caution, a warning laced with fear. John, be careful. I've seen this kind of magic before. Wishmaker doesn't grant wishes, he manipulates desires. Her voice drops, filled with dread. A wish is never free. It is a debt he will collect in ways you can't imagine. John's wish granted him flawless lines, but it also poisoned the city's ability to appreciate true art. The once vibrant and creative world is now gray and devoid of soul. Isolde, a woman who lived for beauty and kindness, has fallen into a deep, profound despair, her spirit broken by the joyless world John's ambition created. With intense focus, John carefully pens his second wish. I wish that the person I care for most will be spared the sickness and suffering of this city. Silas, moments from death just 2 days ago, now walks with purpose down the vibrant Viridia streets, reborn and brimming with vigor. Miraculously returned from the brink of death, he takes in every detail of the vibrant street. His vigor returned with the arrogant belief that the world had simply corrected itself. Nearby, John stands frozen, his face a canvas of disbelief as his wish's cruel irony unfolds. His arch-rival, Silas, is the unintended beneficiary. The universe had balanced the scales. John's wish, meant for the love he felt for Isolde, was twisted by the ink's literal interpretation. The object of his desire became Silas, the man he hated the most. Yet in a strange way, the man who had driven his ambition, the one he had secretly loved to hate. In Viridia, the city's suspicion of magic intensifies. People point fingers. Women are accused of witchcraft. The bustling streets now echo with hushed whispers, the air thick with suspicion and unspoken dread. John's recent success is now viewed through a sinister lens, his achievements tarnished by whispers of dark witchcraft. Friendly faces now twist with distrust, as the community fractures under the weight of fear and doubt. In the heart of the town square, Silas's face twists with jealousy and resentment. He sees an opportunity, using John's sudden rise to fame as evidence against Isolde. His trembling finger indicts Isolde. The miracles. The sudden change in John's work. It is her doing, a pact with the devil. The tense silence amplifies his venomous words. She's a witch. I've seen her consorting with dark spirits. His accusation echoes through the square, casting a dark shadow over Isolde. The town square buzzes with a frenzied energy, a collective anger directed squarely at Isolde. John fights to be heard, his voice cracking under the immense pressure of the crowd's fury. She is innocent. It was me. It was my wishes. His desperate attempt at confession is lost in the roaring sea of indignation. Isolde stands amidst the chaos, the target of the town's collective rage. The crowd's thirst for justice drowns out all reason, a tempest of fury unleashed. Isolde is taken away and imprisoned. In his studio, John feels like a prisoner to his own guilt. The room is his cell, a torment as real as the bars holding Isolde, unjustly accused of witchcraft. His fingers trace the rough surface of a nearly empty ink pot, each touch a reminder of lost aspirations. The truth hits him. His ambition was just selfishness in disguise. The crushing weight of it makes him realize, with absolute clarity, that he must now do the right thing. In the dim light, he clutches a worn piece of paper and a pen, his hand trembling slightly. He writes his final wish, his heart heavy with love and regret. John speaks his last wish. I wish for Isolde to be free, and to know that I love her more than my own life. In the dark confines of the studio, the ink pot bursts against the stone, unleashing chaos. From the empty ink pot, a blinding light erupts, searing through the darkness. The intense light overwhelms John, his face contorting in pain. He finds himself back in his old, coarse tunic, and his studio, once a symbol of freedom, now feels like a prison for his guilt. He stands tense, bracing against the unknown fate the light bring. The ink pot lies shattered by his feet, and an ethereal glow fills his mind-made prison. The light intensifies, promising either salvation or destruction. The next day, John wakes on his old bed, with morning light flooding a studio where the memory of past triumphs now clashes with the reality of his present struggle. John's eyes flutter open, and the sight of his humble surroundings feels like a physical blow. As he pushes himself upright, the weight of a life he almost had settles heavily on his shoulders. John stirs, his eyes slowly adjusting to the familiar clutter of his small studio. He sits up, the absence of his former grandeur a quiet, pressing ache in the morning light. The studio, once a beacon of success, now stands as a stark reminder of his artistic descent. Amidst the disarray, the remnants of his past glory serve only to deepen his current despair. The magic was gone, leaving him as he was before, a struggling calligrapher, an unknown artist in his old clothes with not a single coin to his name. Days passed. The morning light bathes John's studio every morning, each sunbeam a spotlight on the silent scene. On John's desk rests a letter from Isolde, its presence a quiet beacon in the empty room, a final message from the beautiful woman of his past. John approaches, his anticipation growing with each step toward the mysterious envelope. His fingers tremble slightly. John sits at his desk, lost in thought as he holds the letter in his hands. The delicate script of Isolde's letter fills his vision. Isolde's words resonate deeply. "You have always been good enough for me, John. The magic was not in your lines, but in your heart." Reading Isolde's message brings a powerful warmth to John's heart, confirming that his last wish had delivered her from the jaws of despair. Sunlight floods John's studio, illuminating the quiet peace of the morning. A genuine smile lights up John's face, reflecting a newfound sense of peace and contentment. The profound realization that he has found love washes over John, filling him with purpose. John reaches for his quill, ready to pursue his craft purely for the love of it. Under the Viridia sun, John moves with a newfound calmness, his steps measured and serene. Gone is the hunger for fame. His eyes now reflect a tranquil contentment. The warmth